Welcome back to Reality Check Podcast, where tea is served and checks are dispersed.
You know it.
Yes.
Know it.
Yes. Welcome. And my name is Mare, for those of you who are new to us.
And my name is Diana.
And we are here. We are talking Love is Blind Season 5. Love is Blind.
So I guess since we're talking about love,
yes.
maybe we should say, what's the thing that the thing that they say on RHOA?
Loving awareness thing. Like
yes.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, but that doesn't make any sense. What does that even mean? What does that actually mean?
Loving awareness.
I am loving awareness. Maybe I am love awareness.
I don't think it makes sense. I think maybe they're trying to maybe ask them to like be more aware of things, and so they're loving being more aware of things. Is that what it means, or is it the embodiment of loving?
Of love. That's what I
don't understand what that is. But we're going to try to embody some love.
Is it like I'm aware of love? Forget it, who cares?
Listen, it made no sense. That's why I'm telling you. All
let's
these green leaf
stuff.
stuff is like,
right. Anyways, we're done with that show. Love is Blind Season 5. Season 5 is back. Whew. So episodes 1 through 4 are back.
Yes.
And listen, let me actually just disclaimer. If you have not watched it by the time that we have released this specific podcast episode, we suggest you pause right now, go watch, and please come on back once you have watched and let us know in the comments and our DMs what your thoughts are. Please chat with us. But we've had some couples form already.
Some couples engaged.
Yeah, some
not
people
even just formed, engaged.
Full on engaged.
Yes.
We have had couples dismantle.
Jesus.
Already. So I guess let's go. I don't know. Do you want to go episode by episode or like couple by couple?
Let's just go couple by couple, because I don't even care about the episode by episode. Like there was just one. The whole entire thing, there's only one couple that was the star like of the premiere.
The most, like, they always have to have solid couple. And honestly, like during the previews, I really didn't think that this person would be one of the main, Netflix played us. They played us. They really played us. Yeah,
they really did.
Because we thought, I don't know about you, I was thinking Izzy and Johnny.
I was thinking the same exact thing, but I think that they are going to be good supporting actors or cast members. I think they're a support. Maybe they won't be. At least for these 4 episodes, they were more of a supporting actress team, because the other leading actor and actress, they took the cake.
I'm crying at you because you're saying actor and actress. Is this not a reality show?
I'm sorry. It's just the way that I'm trying to make the contrast, and I get the parallels, of what's going on.
Right.
But I'm telling you, my jaw, I was like, hey, okay.
Can I start off just by saying that I am enjoying this season so far. And because I'm enjoying, first of all, this cast is I think the average age is older than what they have done in the past.
The average age is 30 years old.
Right. And I don't know if as a result of that's the reason why we're seeing a bunch of mature conversations. But I'm enjoying not seeing children.
You know what? I'm not going to disagree. Obviously, I think we've had offline conversations about this a little bit, but the 30-year-old average is really important. And of course, age doesn't beget wisdom or anything like that. But the fact that these particular people, great careers, they are pretty well aware of what it is that they want right now in their lives. And the one thing I loved, honestly, about it was they were all going in guns blazing, asking
good
questions.
I actually wrote a couple questions down.
Yo, like
they were asking good questions.
Good questions.
Even Linda Chiamaka, shout out to our Igbo sis.
Hey girl,
shout out. One of the things, it was so funny, like literally upon Vanessa, which I don't know why Vanessa is still here, but whatever. Vanessa
Lachey?
and Nick Lachey.
Let me just say before you go, and say that one of the best things about this episode is that we only saw Vanessa and Nick Lachey once.
Which we typically do. But my thing is the reunion. After what she did last year, Vanessa, it was only one chance you got with me. This reunion, God. You mess up and we got problems.
What do you mean one chance she gets with you? She just needs to be fired because she is just not the one.
But she's still here. She's here again. So,
all right, girl, go ahead.
But
go ahead.
What I was going to say, one of the good questions that I saw, and I was like, I don't know why. Have I ever thought about this? Like, what is this? Vanessa asked, what are you going to ask the men? Like, what questions are you going to ask them? Linda was like, or Chiamaka was like, have you ever been to therapy?
Yes.
What a simple but profound question. You can literally get to know so much about a person by their response. You know what I mean? If they're like, man, I don't believe in that nonsense, then we know that, okay, we may have some issues on our hands, you know?
Yeah.
But I think that's such a great question to ask. Great question. So that was one of the questions that really stood out to me.
Yeah, I really liked it. Like, the one person that I actually ended up liking in the very beginning, though she has a little bit of, gray areas in her personality to cover was, what was her name? Johnny.
Yeah.
Like when she was talking about, who said I wanted to get to the core of who you are or something of that nature? Izzy. Was that Izzy?
Yeah, because he's really.
Are you sure?
I feel like, because he is. Let's talk about them. Let's go. Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Izzy. Oh, no.
It was Izzy. No?
No, it was Chandra.
Who's that?
She barely, girl, that's what I said.
Oh, my.
I'm so sorry, Chandra. I apologize. I honestly don't even remember what she looked like.
No, she's 32.
I wrote down in my notes, she came with the right motive, asking them the right questions. And she was like, I want to know the core of them and know the core of who I am. Oh, actually, it's Chandra. She's our black sis, right? Yes, I remember her face now. Okay. Yep. All right. So it was really, really good. Okay. Let's go ahead and talk about Izzy and Johnny and
their whole thing. Okay. So I guess to recap, so Izzy is 29 years old and he is, if I remember correctly, an insurance agent.
Yes.
And he came in and he had an immediate connection with Johnny. And I think we all saw that in the promo that Netflix had put out.
Yes.
And it seemed like Izzy and Johnny were the couple.
It couple.
The it couple. Things are going well. They both have past experiences. Johnny has been married before. Correct. Izzy has been engaged before.
Correct.
Great. All things seem to be going well. But then he meets Stacy. And I think he has a connection with Stacy. I'll hold off on. I think he has a connection with Stacy. Johnny also has a connection with Chris. So, if you have seen the 4 episodes, we have now seen that Johnny broke up with Chris.
Yes.
I'm hesitant to say broke up because it's like, were they actually in a relationship? She disconnected with Chris and then tried to fully connect and be in a relationship with Izzy.
Only after Izzy asked her, who are your main connections, right? And I'll talk a little bit about how I feel about the revelations of like who your connections are while you're talking to somebody in the pods. But go ahead, D. Like,
girl, Izzy don't ask her this question and then breaks up with her after telling her that you are my number one and decides to go with Stacy. And I'm like, okay. Then Johnny goes back to Chris.
Hello.
And then Chris says, pump the brakes. No, ma'am.
That's right. Chris said, I want to choose somebody who chooses me.
Me. Hold on. I gotta write that quote down. That is, I want to choose someone who chooses me. Hallelujah.
Not just not second, not third. He chooses me first every single day. And I tell you, I love it. Hallelujah. Let me not. I'm so sorry. I'm just like having.
Come on, Holy Spirit.
Because the Spirit is right here. I'm telling you. Because I am about to speak out in the heavenly language. But because when he said it, I was like, this is what I wanted Bliss to do last season,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
He chose himself and he said, you know what? Like, I am not going to be your second choice. I am not going to be the person that you're going to just run back to because your number one decided to not choose you.
Yeah.
You know, and all of those things. And when he just did it, he did it with such... And when I talk about the maturity of this season, I'm telling you, even some of the breakups are so mature.
Oh my goodness. Like, yo, we had the same literal reaction. So mature.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like, this is what we should be seeing.
Yes.
On television. We have our behaviors that maybe you and I personally don't immediately resonate with, but they're still so mature.
Yes.
And I love seeing healthy conflict.
Oh my goodness.
Healthy conversations. I'm loving it. It's not everyday mess.
Yeah, it's not everyday mess. It's not somebody trying to go in there and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna try to steal her man. I want this, you know, whatever." And all that stuff. Like these people were revealing very deep parts of their history. You know, like I mean, and it's a lot to do that on national television.
It
too.
is.
Like, you have to give them a lot of like applause for doing that, but like deep parts of their history, because it's not just if I'm gonna go into the pods and talk to you and never see your face and never like know what you look like. All I can do is hear what you sound like, hear what you laugh like, and all that stuff. Oh my God! Let's stop with the willy nilly. Oh, you're my sweet bunny or whatever the hell it is. I don't like. Cut it out, okay? Like cut it out. Get to the core. You know. No, but like, I just enjoyed just when you talk about healthy conflict. When you talk about healthy reactions for things that like you're like stunned by.
Yeah.
And then the responses afterward from the person who revealed it to the person who received it, and how there was camaraderie.
Yes.
In both?
Oh my goodness. I know I share this with you. One thing I loved to see, because it's such a contrast from last season. The women, like obviously the women are getting along, right? Everyone's like supporting each other, blah, blah, blah. But the women are more active, more party, like dancing, doing this, like they are enjoying themselves, right? Yes. Whereas the guys, we see them being more emotional, and they are like they're also supporting each other through those emotions, and it's just like, wow, what a great cast.
It's a great cast. Like there is nobody that I outrightly dislike on the cast, right? Yeah. It's just I love the fact that every single person is showing their humanness.
Exactly.
Right? Like, and you can't hate people being human. Like, you can't hate them going through the emotions that they're going through.
Exactly.
And it's not like they're going through it to make the other person look like an evil devil or to make them seem like they're
really
like
going
the
through
scum
the
of the earth. But they're really going through the process. I'm like, bro, like, wow, like
I really love that. Even I love it. I love what I'm seeing. It is, and even Johnny. I like Johnny. That we saw some behaviors from her and some comments from her that were not so. We weren't expecting them, you know what I mean? Because I think we had a certain expectation of what we saw from her the first couple of episodes. You know, she was making comments as soon as Izzy had broken up with her. You know, and it's like, okay, those things are kind of unkind. But still, she's not like a terrible person. I enjoyed seeing her emotional maturity.
Yeah, I did too. And I'm sure she's going to have to answer for some of the things that she said in the pod that we haven't seen, right? And let's see how she handles it. And like, let's see how she manages that situation. But overall, we know, honestly, between the choice between Johnny and Izzy, I think that Johnny and Izzy and Stacey, I think that Izzy should have chosen Johnny. That's like my perspective. We did talk about the fact that like Stacey has an issue with vulnerability and, you know, being vulnerable. But Diana, honestly, come on.
Can I call it a contradiction real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so Izzy really, really wanted a woman that is vulnerable, right? That was his main initial connection with Johnny, that she was vulnerable right out the gate.
That is right.
Now, and Stacey was not, and that's why she was number 2 and Johnny was number 1.
That's right.
But it was interesting because the moment that Johnny got really, really vulnerable,
that's right,
that's when Izzy ran.
But you know, Diana, I guess different people, different strokes, different folks, or whatever, right? What she revealed was it
heavy.
Was it that heavy?
It's heavy.
It was like she just revealed it. Tell me, because like I know it's just about
We're talking about addiction. And trigger warning, sorry for anyone that is. We're talking about addiction. We're talking about death. We're talking about, okay, no, that wasn't a thing, but addiction and death. Those are pretty heavy topics. You know what I mean? And we have to remember that this is an accelerated process. So it's not like you actually know these people as long as you do, you know? So I feel like, yeah, that's pretty heavy. However, what kind of disappointed me a little bit was Izzy called for that vulnerability.
That's right.
That's what he was seeking for. And that's what he was affirming that he loved in her, was that vulnerability. So to react in the way that he did, I don't know, I can't fault anyone for their reactions because, like you said, different strokes for different folks, but it just seemed like a little bit of a contradiction for me.
And you're right. Like, I completely agree with that. Like, you're right. And I think that, asking for something is different than actually being ready to receive it.
That part.
That's what he showed.
That
he was
part.
not ready to receive that.
That part.
For me, what she revealed, I didn't think that it was heavy enough for me to not choose her. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it was me, I'd be like, okay, like, I have this understanding about what you go through. And she's saying right now, 7 years later, in this moment right now, I'm telling you that I'm falling in love with you. Right? And she's saying also that I'm not going to marry somebody lest I actually love them.
But she did.
Falling in love with them.
Remember, but she did.
Yeah, but she did many years ago, right?
Yeah.
The only person she's ever loved was the one that died.
Exactly.
Right? But she had married somebody after she left the one that died before that person died.
Yeah.
So now she's like, knowing and learning from what I did in the past, I'm telling you that should I marry you, it is because I know that I am in love with you. And I know that I love you.
Yeah.
That
it was profound. It was profound.
Yeah.
I think because we have now watched all 4 episodes and I've been able to see the inconsistency in Johnny.
Yeah.
It's hard.
No, definitely.
Me,
No,
so,
definitely.
I don't know. I wish them well. Let's see what happens in the next few episodes with them. I agree. I don't think that he should have chosen Stacy. I think that Stacy is
she's just here for fun, baby.
Stacy is Rock of Gibraltar.
I'm telling you,
Mount Zion that cannot be moved.
She's not going to let you in.
You have
to go around the wall of Jericho how many times?
7 times.
To break down, she's not gonna move.
Yeah,
that's wild.
But let's see, because per the preview, it looks like it's not even her that's the problem. It looks like Izzy's the problem. But I don't know, these previews been deceiving us anyway. So let's see.
I know Izzy. I know Izzy's type. The moment that when a man doesn't go for what he's asking for, I peg you.
That's true.
Yes, I peg
that's
you.
A good
I
point.
see exactly what you're doing.
That's a good
that's
point.
it.
Yeah,
so,
it's true.
Good luck
it's true.
to
I
him.
think he was thinking with his genital
penis.
All right.
Sorry. I said the word. It is.
It's okay,
what
you're
it
a medical
is.
professional, so
Yes.
whatever. All right, who's next? I guess the only really next. Okay, we know. What are the names again?
Which one?
The 2 white people.
Jesus. The 2 white people. Okay, Taylor.
Thank you.
JP.
Thank you. They're literally in my notes. I wrote, they're engaged.
Okay, I'll talk a little bit about them. So Taylor and JP, they are engaged, and it is awkward for me as hell watching them meet each other at the end. Like, I was just like, ugh.
The kiss. The kiss was. Anyways, I put a reaction video on the kiss on Instagram. I was like, wow, wow, that was a chomp. Wow. It came out of nowhere. It was like hug, and then whomp. I said, wow.
Yeah, it was like, come on,
as in, please make sure you put like the translation subtitles, but keep this.
I will.
Like,
oh my God. Like,
wow.
it was a lot. And then she said something about his teeth. I missed that part, but you caught it. And I said, what?
Girl,
what's wrong with his teeth?
The thing is, she didn't say anything wrong about his teeth. However,
What'd she say?
She said, she was like that she, used to care about looks, and typically, like, if she saw him in person, that's not the type of guy that she would go for. But she doesn't care. She is so in love with him. That's her sugar foot, sugar baby, sugar butt, whatever.
Butt.
Whatever nonsense. Mare, is something wrong with us that we don't like this, like, romantic?
No. It's the temperature of the season. You know what I'm saying?
Every time she was saying, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I was cringing. I'm like, please shut up. Please shut up. Please stop. Please stop. Please stop.
But she's a 25-year-old girl. Like, this is a...
But I don't know that it has to do with the fact that she's 25. Because if you remember, I actually felt the same way with Lauren and Cameron season 1. I said, you guys don't know each other. They were in their 30. No.
Oh, yeah. So
Lauren
they were
was
calling
30,
each other pet
Cameron.
names?
Yeah. And I said, you guys don't know each other. Which one is babe? Which one is I love you? You don't know this, babe.
I beg. My problem with it is the fact I'm like, y'all have just been talking for what, 2-3 days, maybe 4. Is it 2-3 days or 4? How does this happen?
No, we're gonna find out, because that one I really need to know, because some of the tears that I'm seeing, I'm like, so you really were that in love?
This is like a deeper conversation that we will have to have with our followers, because let me tell you something. Like, a lot of the language that I was hearing, I was just like, a lot of y'all really don't know what it means to love being in your singleness. Or to
maximize that season.
And maximize that season. The language, I've never been loved.
Yes.
Is anybody gonna love me? I'm looking for, I never loved myself before, but now I want to love somebody else. Okay.
Nemo. I was like, this bitch.
That's why you see those tears.
Calm down.
I'm telling you, like, that's why you see those tears. And then, like, breaking down, I'm like, okay, I tell you something that happened in my past. Am I crying because I think I'm going to lose you? I beg. If you don't want me, I walk out the door. Okay, let's talk about it.
Uchenna. Ew. Uche. Hey, yeah. Uchenna. How many times did I call your name? Uchenna.
I know you called him
Uchenna. Uchenna, why? We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Uchenna, why?
We want to... Listen, I beg. Okay, he is not as bad as Kwame. And he is not as bad as SK.
Absolutely not.
Period.
I would choose Uche.
I would choose Uche every single time.
Every time.
Over
10 times.
Those two people.
10 times over. Over SK. Kwa.
Like.
Kwame. That still is. I'm sorry. Anyways. No. Kwame is trapped, or where his head is. But.
Okay. But Uche. Listen.
Okay. Let's recap.
Okay. So, Uche.
Please.
I'm going to just give a brief little thing. He's 33 years old. He ain't got the time to be wasting. And he said, like, I just want to bring it down to 2 or 3 people. Cool. So he likes Miriam. She's 31 years old. Yo, my question was, though, is Miriam Nigerian? Because she said she
was born and grew up there. We're going to find out. We're going to
find out. But then now he connects with Aaliyah, a Black American young lady. At least I think she's Black American.
Yeah, she's an ICU
nurse and all that stuff or whatever. They connect on the arts. They're connecting on poetry. They're connecting on, all
instrument
of these,
playing.
Yeah, instrument playing and things like that. And I actually really liked Aaliyah. What Aaliyah liked, she knew what she liked about him, right?
Yeah.
And I think Aaliyah's a sapiosexual because she loves his nerdiness. She loves all his intelligence and everything like that. So I think that's like where she's just like, feeling, all of this emotion and things like that for him and connecting with him, which makes sense. You ain't seen his face.
Her heart is in the connection.
Yeah, her heart is in the connection, right? So they end up actually both of them connecting.
Yeah.
Right? And they both end up in one way or the other choosing each other, becoming boyfriend and girlfriend. In the pods, right?
Yeah.
And then revelations come forth. Whew.
Oh, Lord Jesus. All right, Revelation 1, Aaliyah.
Revelation number 1.
Aaliyah reveals that both of them are having a conversation, and they're talking about the things that are non-negotiable for them, and they both say dishonesty. And Aaliyah reveals that, yeah, she has been dishonest in the past and she has made mistakes in the past.
That's right.
Uncovers that she has actually cheated on a boyfriend before. This was 2 years ago. Now, Uche was not having this one. Uche, at first, I was like, okay, these are reasonable questions. And I don't want to tone police Uche because of his stoic affect.
Face. Yes.
Right? Yeah. That his questions are coming off bad. However, he lost me. Hi, Uchenna. Bad. Uchenna. Oh. This Uchenna. Then he started saying, oh, but it was 2 years ago, so you're a recent cheater. Now you have labeled her. You haven't opened the space for her to be able to share her own feelings about what she felt about that thing. You then went ahead and told her, no, you feel embarrassed and you must feel embarrassed. Like, there was too much judgment that was coming through.
You know, it's I can't even describe it. The way that he was asking the questions was like, yeah, this guy's a lawyer. Okay.
He is.
His lawyer self came out in that moment. Like, it was like she was on the stand and it was time for her to defend herself. But what I hated about what Aaliyah did is that she cowered, you know, and then she cowered in the moment where I was just like, Aaliyah, girl, you did what you did. Yeah. Right. I'm sure you've grown from it. Right. But the thing is also for Uche to say 2 years is not a long time. Hey, I was
first and foremost, you know what's so funny? Huh? Here's the thing. This conversation actually needs some context because, oh my goodness, Jesus. If you actually listen to that conversation as an Igbo person, all you think Uche is just saying, are you not embarrassed?
Are you not embarrassed?
Only 2 years. Only 2 years. So I'm like, okay, as an Igbo person, it's a different conversation. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as like a American person, it's like, okay, Uche, doing too much. Because one of the questions that I want to ask, I guess the audience, is what gives you the right to quantify somebody's growth?
Girl.
What gives you that right?
Absolutely.
Right? And that's where I think that he was crossing a boundary.
So many lines.
And that's where judgment was coming across. And I just was not feeling that.
I wasn't even in her seat and I felt judged. Yeah. Like, it just was like, I was like, but again, back to the maturity of the season. So this young lady, Aaliyah, you know, tells this information. Granted, I'm like, Aaliyah, I have some little questions.
Yeah.
About why you are talking about this right now.
Yeah.
Right. And also, you know, he was able to get out of her like, okay, so you didn't reveal it to the person you did it with. And I'm like, okay, now you're on national television and that person is about to see what you did.
Yeah, so why?
Like, I was like, wait, why? What is happening? Like,
that's what I was wondering. Why are you revealing it to some other man, but you didn't reveal it to the man that you cheated on?
That you cheated on.
Okay.
I'm like, okay. Irrespective. There's something to be said about when somebody reveals like something like that to you, be humble.
Yeah. There's a trust.
Yes.
That you have unlocked within them.
That you have unlocked with that person. Receive them with open arms. You may have your fears and your worries and things like that, but this is not the day. This is not the time nor the moment to express that.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And what Uche did was, I loved that, again, when I talk about the maturity of the season, he went back.
Yes.
Right? He went back.
He redeemed himself.
And redeemed himself.
He did,
right?
Yep.
Because he, again, is, you know, unearthing that, okay, like, I don't like people lying to me. I don't like dishonesty.
Yeah.
And I will say this, Uche, you kissing somebody when you were 18 is also considered cheating. It's all the same in the eyes of the Lord, baby. Okay, just like relax.
Right, but this is actually, that's a ridiculous, like, the fact that he brought up 18
that he even brought that up. I was like,
we could have done without that information. We didn't need
it. But I'm like, okay, so anyway, but he went back, and I love, like, you know, the guys, they're more emotional this season. They're actually more, they're using their frontal lobes very well.
Yeah.
Like, you know, this season.
Yeah.
JP asking him. Yeah, except for him.
Yeah.
JP asking him and keeping him accountable and saying, like, is it worth losing her over? Right? Like, this thing that you're perseverating on. It was a great challenge. And that helped him so much, right?
Yeah.
To reorient himself to think like, okay, she shared this with me.
Yep.
And she didn't have to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it. I absolutely loved I like I said, the mature conversations, the healthy conflict that we're seeing is just, it's so refreshing to see.
Very much so.
You know what I mean? Because I don't think that we get that on TV.
That's right.
At all. So it's so refreshing to see this man make a mistake, own up to his mistake, take accountability, and like to hear him say, I also like need to do a better job of creating a space and an environment for you to feel vulnerable. That tells me that he's handling her vulnerability with care, he's handling that as if it's something that's fragile, and he values that. So that means that he is handling her vulnerability with care. He's holding it near and dear, and he values that vulnerability. And he because of that, you can tell that he really likes her.
I know. And he really did like her.
Hi. Let's keep the story. The story doesn't end there with
It doesn't.
Uche. And for those that are not Nigerian or not Igbo and don't know why, like I know you guys are like, his name's Uche. What's Uche na? So that's actually is it Uche Nachuku?
I mean, it could be, but like it's often just Uche, Uchenna.
Okay.
And things like that.
Okay, cool. Anyways, so
The story does not end there. All right, girl.
Now this is where again
it gets
Uche
a little
Uche has finished us and lost me.
Wow.
Oh yeah, tell them.
Okay.
Tell the people. Tell the people.
So anyway, so for those listening, so what happens is, okay, so Uche has done all of this with Aaliyah. Aaliyah's feeling all manner of ways about herself. Aaliyah goes into the girls' quad. The first person to come to her aid and to her rescue and to love and embrace her is a girl named Lydia. Lydia is a geologist. She's from Puerto Rico. Okay. Hiya.
Boricua.
Okay. And she is telling Aaliyah, like, no, like, it is his fault that he's not able to, you know, see past this. It is his traumas that he has to deal with. You are just like
Sorry,
me.
knowing what I know now. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She was really saying this type of thing to this girl.
You are just like me. I see you in me. And I tell you, Diana, when she kept saying it, I was like, damn, why is she saying it so many times? Like, why is she saying, like, you're just like me so many times?
Right.
I had those questions in my head. I was like, why is she saying that? Like, why did she kept repeating it? I love you more than anything. I love you more. Right? And I was like, hey, one person can look at this and say, like, okay, she's being a sister to her and they really develop this closeness and all that stuff. And it really was. It was so empowering. It was just like beautiful. But then in my mind, I was like, girl, don't try to make her run away so fast from this man. Like, it's not like this man has thrown her away to the wolves. But what she did say that I thought was good was that, you know, this moment shows you how he handles. Mm-hmm. He handles it. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. Mm-hmm. All right, so Lydia. All right, so then Uche comes into a date in the pods with Aaliyah. And he says, I have something to tell you.
Oh.
I'm holding my cup and my pillow like...
Honestly, I was thinking it can't be that serious because this season has been like, everything's been kind of low key.
I know.
Uche dropped his bomb.
Drop the bomb.
Oh my god. Oh my god. So I said, hey.
I grabbed my friends because we were watching it at the same time. I said, bia. Like,
Uche na biakwa. As in like,
I'm like, come.
Oh. Uche na biakwa.
And so I'm like, okay, after he has done all this to Aaliyah, I'm like, what is it that he could have to reveal to her? Because I'm like, okay, my ears were perked up. Okay. So he says, on day 10 of the pods?
Day one.
Oh, sorry. On day one of the pods. On day one of the pods, there's someone that I had a date with in the pods that
had a pre-existing relationship
with. He said it. I said, hey.
That it's Lydia. Do you know when he said Lydia? Because I think everyone, if you guys have actually been listening to us, I suck with names.
She really
I will be calling people something that's not even, I don't even know. I'm terrible with names. I thought he was talking about Linda, the other Igbo girl that's in the Chiamaka, that's in the pod. And I said, okay, two Igbos, Houston, it makes sense. See my mind, it makes sense. When I was like, okay, let me go look this up. Lydia? Oh wow. Lydia.
And the reaction you're having is the reaction that Aaliyah was feeling inside. Because Aaliyah's like,
but how mature was she when she's like, I need to have a conversation with her?
With Lydia, yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Very mature. Very much
I
so.
love that. And then in that conversation,
we just received too much information. And hey, I'm sorry. Lydia, if we're looking for a villain this season, she is it for me. Period.
She was too stunned to speak. I literally, I'm trying to find the word. Lydia.
Let me help you.
I think, I think what did it for me was these producers. They did a flashback to their first date. And we see Lydia like, this is a sign, let's give it a chance. This is a sign, let's give it a chance. This is a sign, let's give it a chance. And Uche's like, that's not the experience. And thank you also for Uche for staying committed to the process, because if it's SK, he'll tell you, yeah, let's go ahead and do it anyways. Right. So staying committed to the process and the integrity of the process. So we see that happening. We see where Lydia's like still trying to push for this to happen. So I'm here watching her tell Aaliyah this story, and Aaliyah's setting a boundary like, oh, it's okay, I don't want to know, I don't need to know, I don't need to know, I don't need to know. But Lydia is continuing to say, we had sex 3 months ago. Oh, and his car looks like this. I met all his friends. His apartment
house
looks like this. He is like this. He is like
the
this.
Dog. You're gonna love Kobe. All of that stuff. And she just kept going. And going. And I'm like, yo, this is now become, it's like either she was going because she was like, I'm super excited that now you know, right?
Right? Or maybe she felt relieved. That's true.
Relieved that now you know. And, you know, Lydia, when she first came on the screen, I was like, girl, you are a lot. All her energy.
A lot of energy.
Child, she is a lot.
I can't do all the energy, but somebody else can. She's a lot of energy. Yeah, more
so
power
this
to her.
This could just be her energy, personality coming through. Like, I'm so, because like
she's
even
very
when
passionate in the way she orates. Yeah.
And energetic. Yeah. Right. And so like, when Aaliyah said, like, he told me, she's like, you saw how relieved she was. She's like, oh, he told you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Right? Like she knows. And then all of this started splurting out of her mouth because you're my girl. I want you to know. But it's like, girl, this means that you know what Uche looks like naked. This means that you know all of everything about what Uche got. Okay?
That's about,
and your
like,
friend.
How are you supposed to go to their wedding?
How? Like, how are you going to be the auntie to their children?
Yeah, you've seen
it's
the
weird.
husband. Like, it's not appropriate. It's awkward. And I just love the honesty that Aaliyah brought to the conversation. She's like, how are we supposed to be friends?
We can't.
We can't be friends.
We can't be friends.
That like, can't be a thing.
And you remember when you said it, Diana, like earlier, she had said, like, in real life, I would
never put myself in this situation
to date somebody's ex, like somebody's ex.
So, friends, that brings us to
Gina.
Things were revealed because Aaliyah had learned so many ridiculous things that she's again said that she did not want to know. Like, they had sex 3 months prior to walking into these pods. She went back to Uche and said, I did not, like, there were pieces of this conversation or this experience that you did not tell me.
That is right.
And Uche, I don't even know what his response is. It doesn't matter. Point is, they make up, but I don't think they made up. Aaliyah seems like a person that she's a nice person, so she's just going to go with the flow in the moment. And then once rational brain kicks in, she's able to actually process the conversation. Yep. Boom. And what do we see, Mare?
What we see is one night, Uche. He comes, he is ready to propose. On one knee, give a ring to this girl. And he goes, he enters the pod. He says, Aaliyah, babe.
She's not there.
She is not there, y'all.
And I said, you go, sis.
We have
celebration. Celebration. I love it.
Time, oh, celebrate. Hey,
I love it for Aaliyah because
wow.
I loved hearing her say, in my real life, I actually would not deal with this, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like after her makeup session with Uche, she went back, and again, that's when typically you process conversations when they're done. You see how they go. She realized this is for the birds. I'm not doing this. This is a mess. Right. This is a mess. And I'm pretty sure maybe the cameras didn't catch this, but just if the shoe fits, I don't think that Lydia stopped there. I would be hard pressed to think that Lydia just stopped after that conversation.
She probably told him like what his toes smell like, she probably told him what his poop smelled like, and things like that.
Nope, we can't do that.
I know,
I get you.
But you know what I'm saying? But the thing about Lydia too is that Lydia is like overly honest, and which is great. Lydia said Aaliyah had asked her at one time, what do you think about him now? Like, or whatever. And then she's like, I would probably fall in love with him again. Like, she had said something like that to that extent. She had said that to Aaliyah. Like,
whoa.
I would.
What, did I miss this?
Like, you did. Like,
you did.
Go back. She said it. She revealed that she had said it. I said, Jesus. which makes sense as to why.
No, it's done. I would definitely, if I were Aaliyah, I would also leave. I would not stay because there's no need to I don't have to actually be in mess. I don't have to actually tolerate the mess. And this began to be messy.
It was.
And sorry to say this, but some people would probably ask well, isn't he worth it or whatever the case is? And in my opinion, no, because I just met you a week ago. So I don't have to stay in this. It's a no for me. It's a no for me.
Yeah, it is a healthy decision that Aaliyah made.
She did. And then just thinking potentially back to all of the conversations that she had with Lydia prior to this revelation.
I'm telling you, of it just it's
Yeah. It's an aha moment, and it's a get out of Dodge. No, can't do it.
Literally. And, I even remember that scene where she was sitting with Lydia and she was just like, I've never met somebody that loved me like this so much. And, she was saying they were cuddling up, remember?
And Lydia was crying.
And Lydia was just crying. And not even just crying, but she looked like.
No, she was crying.
I hope you guys are I hope that, you guys are the right one for each other. I've never been loved.
Do you know, let's talk about Lydia. Lydia came on the scene. She's hot, spicy, and passionate, right? Lydia is on here saying that she has never been loved. She's never been loved. Now, Lord, I believe that desperation or that longing for whatever love that she is looking for, it's clouding her visibility greatly into these relationships, because she had a connection. She thought she had a connection at some point with Izzy. And I was a little confused because she was like, Izzy's my number one. And I'm like, oh, wow.
But how and where?
Where? Did I miss? I had to rewind. I was like, wait, did I miss it? What happened? And then Izzy came the next date and he's like, yeah, sorry. It's not you. I'm not even going to call it a breakup. Crying. He disconnected. And she had a whole breakdown.
This was my man for 3 or 4 months or something.
Yeah. Baby girl, this is a lot. And I believe that clouding of judgment and visibility is what is motivating and really driving her desire to be with Milton. Because their only connection is rocks. Excuse me, they're a geologist. I need to...
Oh, Milton and Lydia are geologists, so they love rocks.
No, he's an environmental engineer, I believe, and she's a geologist. So
that is true.
Yeah.
So he says I'm in the mix between engineering and geology, but he loves rocks. He has a polarizing microscope and things like that.
But he's 24.
Yeah.
And Uche has testified that he does not think that Milton is ready for marriage. And to be honest with you, I would trust that opinion.
Yeah.
Because Uche, upon all the mess, he seems like a very intellectually sound human.
Yes.
Right?
Very analytical.
So yeah, very, very analytical. He is a lawyer. So I'm like, not Marshall.
Milton.
I don't know why this child, I keep calling him Marshall. I take God beg you, please, someone help me. Milton.
Yes, Milton.
They don't seem like a match. They don't seem like a match personality wise. They don't seem compatible. Yeah.
No, and I think it's part of the process, right? If it looks like, so Lydia and Johnny both knew that they had second players that they could go back to, right? Lydia was dumped by Izzy, so Lydia decides all right, let me go and try and be vulnerable with Milton. Milton, even when he proposed to Lydia, I said, Milton, don't do it. Milton looked stressed out.
Can I tell you the way Lydia was on ready? Lydia was, he said, I'm on my knees. She's like, yeah, I'm here.
Right, I'm here. Literally.
I'm here. I'm standing ready. I love you. I love you. I love you. I said,
and it's what is happening? Calm down.
Take time. Take time. Don't worry. He's coming. Just take time.
And it's so it's so exactly what Uche had pointed out. He said Milton is not ready, but Lydia is looking for marriage. This is what she wants. She's ready for this right now, right? So when Milton did that, I was like, oh, Milton, this is the most poor decision that you've probably made in your young 24-year-old life, because this girl's about to run you down. And at the end of the day, I don't think that they're going to work out anyway. So I wish them the best of luck.
She actually reminds me a lot of Chelsea with the love bombing. because
Yes.
at some point we did get Lydia also revealing to I almost said Marshall again, also revealing to Milton that she was just in a relationship with Uche.
Uche.
And she told the story differently. She did not tell the truth. The way she told the story was that she broke up with Uche, and she decided 3 months ago that she was done with the relationship.
That she was done with the
What
relationship.
she did not say was that 3 months ago I actually had sex with him, and then I was done.
And then I was done with the relationship. Right. Exactly.
That was not a thing. But
that when you were in the pod, you asked for starting at ground zero thing again.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, she said that Uche asked to start at ground zero, like. And I'm like, whoa, this is not an accurate representation of what we just saw, but whatever, I digress. The point that I want to get to is I was really disappointed in Lydia and not allowing Milton to process that conversation, process the news that he just received. Because there seemed to be a little bit of tension between him and Uche. I don't know if you remember, there was a time where like Uche was asking him something, I don't know, and Marshall's like, stop asking me about it. And like they had like a little bit of we got a glimpse into that. So I don't think that him and Uche may not be on like the best, may not be best friends, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's an ego thing there, there's a hurt there, because I think he really does like this girl. Sure. But she would not allow him every 5 seconds, Milton talk. And I'm like, let him sit with the news for a second. He just said to you, I don't know what I am feeling. Give him a second he has to do some introspective analysis and evaluation to figure out, what am I feeling? Am I angry, sad, happy, joyful? What am I feeling? Give him that moment. But she was not willing to, because I think that she's just really holding on to, I want to get married.
I have a hard time believing women, men who choose a person and that person doesn't choose them and then they run back to their second option.
Of course.
I have a hard time with it. If I was in this process, ideally, I would hope that if the person that I only want didn't choose me, I go home.
That's it.
Right? But yes, Lydia wants to get married, but I know she doesn't want Milton. They also know what this show is. They should at least maybe have an idea of what this show is about. They know that they're all going to meet each other. Yeah. Right? So there might be some things playing in her back of her mind as to why she's like, I need to be on this show now. Yeah. I need to see these people that I was in love with now. Right? And if you're going to be my gateway to doing it, then I'm going to use you as my gateway to doing it. Milton talked about playing the Wii at 4 a.m. Okay? He'd have to sacrifice that.
And saying, I have to ask you for permission.
You have to ask you for permission.
Even Lydia herself, she's like, do what you want. Just tell me where you're going. Like, that's a reasonable, like, thing.
It is. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I have to ask you. I'm like,
he's not ready, baby.
He's showing his, like, he's a baby.
He's a baby. As intellectual as he comes off, which he's a very intelligent person.
He is very intelligent.
He's socio-emotionally, he hasn't gone through all of the processes of what it means to be a full and complete person right here and right now. At 24 years old, he is not ready. At his 24 years old, he is not ready for marriage.
Absolutely.
Period. Even after he proposed, he saw his hands were like covering his face, and he's just like,
what did I just do?
What did you do?
I just don't. Does Lydia really? No, she really don't. She's not really actually into him. She's just really, she don't care who it is. She just wants someone to fit in that position. She doesn't care who it is. She doesn't care.
Love me.
Just love me.
Just love me.
And let me say this. Lydia, come to church with me. Come to church with me, because you are loved. You are
you talking about Lydia, or are you talking about Aaliyah?
I said Lydia, the one that says that she's never been loved.
Yes.
You are loved. You are loved. A reckless kind of love.
Amen.
Just open up your arms and just receive it. You are blocking. I don't know what she has gone through in her life that she is blocking that. But beloved, you are loved, and you are loved by the Father. There is nothing that you can do to make his love run out on you. And
I would also extend that. I'm going to talk about it later on our socials, but I'm going to extend that same message to Aaliyah. Okay? Like the same exact message.
Yeah.
There is no judgment. There is no fire. There is nothing on this God-given earth that could ever block you from receiving the love God has for you. And also the fact that the grace and his abundant grace that he gives for you to make the mistakes that you do in your life, you do not allow the enemy into your brain to tell you that you are not worth it, that to tell you that you cannot do it, or to tell you that you are a bad person. Hallelujah. It is not true. You made a mistake. Your mistake does not define who you are. And if we could all just see ourselves the way God sees us, I am telling you, we would walk differently.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
If we all of us here who have made mistakes and errors in our life, right? Against God, and especially if you are a believer of God Most High, a believer in Jesus Christ, all of us who have made mistakes against our Father in heaven, if he was not the Father that gives us good grace and
so
good love
merciful
and so merciful and so long suffering, all of us would be dead.
Exactly.
Every single one of us would be dead. So what I have to say is, like, this situation that they went through can teach people a lot of things. We need to receive people with love and care, and we need to receive them fully and completely as they are, because that is really literally how the Lord God receives us. And in doing that, you are going to see transformative change happen in people's lives. Yeah. And that's it. Point blank, period.
Yeah. Maybe not on Love is Blind itself, but in real life, yes. All right, cool.
For real, yeah. In real life.
Because this setting is actually, to be honest with you, this setting actually does not work. Let's just be very
my God.
This setting does not actually work. It's not it's actually not a thing that really truly, no, sorry. Anyways, but this was the conclusion of the first 4 episodes. We will definitely be watching the next few episodes. So definitely stay tuned. We will be covering Love is Blind as much as possible. So please stay tuned. Give us your opinion. Let's have this conversation. We need to talk. Man. What are you thinking? What are you feeling about these people? Do you like the cast as much as we do? Do you find them boring? Do you find them entertaining? Let us know. We want to know.
Yes, we do. Thank you all for listening. And please make sure that you check us out on all of our socials: Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We are all the same name. It is at realiTEACheckpodcast. And we look forward to realiTEACheck
podcast,
right?
That's us.
That's what I said, isn't it?
You said reality.
Isn't that what I said?
Reality is different than
reality. I said reality check. Oh.
Marilyn just figured out our name. Oh my God.
Oh, my bizzle.
No, I'm just joking. All right, right. But yeah, no, please do check us out and listen to us. We are on Apple, we are on Spotify, we are on YouTube, we're on Google Podcasts. Please do take a listen, share it with your friends, listen in your car while you're cleaning, while you're doing whatever you need to do. Thank you all so much for joining us here at realiTEACheck Podcast, where tea is served and checks are dispersed. I am Diana.
And I am Mare. Have a
Bye,
good night.
everyone.
Bye.